Welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. So we have to ask a very important question today. Is there such thing as reincarnation? When we die, is there a possibility we are reincarnated and our soul inhabits another body? I have always felt, after reading Plato's The Phaedo, that the soul is immortal, but the immortality of the soul does not require reincarnation. Which, of course, brings us to YouTuber Trisha Paytas, who has 3 children. Her most recent child was born July 12th of this year. But there are a lot of people who feel that Trisha Paytas' children are the reincarnated souls of very, very famous people. It's a super funny conspiracy theory, but stick with me. You're like, who's Trisha Paytas? She spoofed Jessica Simpson in an Eminem video, and she was a stripper in LA, and then did this thing called, I know I might get the word wrong and that's okay, mukbanging, which is where it's a Korean word where people apparently eat food so other people watch them. And so she's famous for mukbanging and crying and being a former stripper and an Eminem video fake Jessica Simpson. So having said that, she now has, and she was on Celebrity Big Brother, she is a very famous YouTuber who is also not only a prolific side hustler, but also a prolific baby maker because she's had 3 kids. So this is where the conspiracy kicks in. So Queen Elizabeth, as you may remember, and I'm sure you have this written down on your calendar, died on my 50th birthday. And that is how I will always remember my 50th birthday because I love the show The Crown. Therefore, I love Queen Elizabeth and the memory of her. Didn't think as much of her before I started watching The Crown, but I guess I'm a huge Netflix fan, even more so now that they cut ties with Harry and Meghan. And that's where I started to follow F1, watching Drive to Survive. And now I love F1, and I love the Queen, God rest her soul. So she died September 8th, 2022. Trisha Paytas' first child, who is named Malibu Barbie, was born September 14th. So Trisha Paytas' fans were like, obviously, it's the Queen reincarnated. So for 6 days, the Queen was in heaven going, oh, I have to pick the perfect soul. Who shall I inhabit? Well, I guess I am the perfect soul, but I need a body. So I see we have an erotic dancer who's turned into an influencer. And her name is Trisha Paytas. I will call her Trish. And she is a dish. And I will inhabit the body of her firstborn. May her name be Malibu Barbie. And may she always live a life of service. So, hence the conspiracy theory was born. So, last year, Trisha Paytas had another child. Just 2 years, like she's cranking them out. So there was no big notable death until this year when the Pope died. So the Pope died a year after Trisha Paytas' daughter, Elvis, was born. So people were like kind of grasping at straws here, but they're like, there we go. The Pope sort of retroactively inhabited the body of baby Elvis. And now Elvis is a toddler with a totally different personality and an air of holiness and with a dash of socialism thrown in because it was Pope Francis who died, as you remember, this year. So people are like, oh, well, obviously, it's that's the second Paytas baby is the Pope. So you got the Queen, you got the Pope, and who did we hear about being born last week? Aquaman.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
Aquaman Moses, the youngest of Trisha Paytas' children, died last week. I'm sorry, God, how dare you, was born July 12th, who died last week. Thankfully, all of her children are alive and well. Malcolm Jamal Warner, nope, not him. Hulk Hogan, not the Hulk either. Ozzy Osbourne. So she has a penchant for the reincarnated souls of very famous English people inhabiting her children. which is creepy, but she's kind of leaned into it. So, but Ozzy died 10 days after her son Aquaman Moses was born. And people were like, that's it. We have another retroactive reincarnation. Ozzy got up to heaven and was like, yeah, I like it up here. It's nice. The all you can eat buffet and the trampoline room. It's, most comfortable mattress I've ever had, sleeping on a cloud. Having said that, I want to go back. I want to be a part of Trisha Paytas' family. My eternal life will not be complete unless I reincarnate as Aquaman. And she teased before Aquaman was born that it was a movie poster that had to deal with the ocean. So everyone thought the child's name was going to be either Titanic or Jaws. But no, it's Aquaman. And like Superman and Batman, you can't put the emphasis on the man. So there you go. You have a YouTuber, a non-binary YouTuber, former stripper, who's making plenty of scratch from her monetization with 3 very famous kids. I don't know, frankly, Devin here on the podcast team brought this up. I don't know how you manage the egos. You've got the Queen, the Pope, and the Prince of Darkness under one roof. How on God's green and golden miraculous earth do you incorporate a single parenting style? All I know is she's making money hand over fist. And, at this point, the conspiracy theory is definitely holding. So I think that, she should really get a patent attorney and trademark some of these monetization avenues, because if you have the Queen, the Pope, the Prince of Darkness in your family, the fruits of your womb, you should be able to trademark all 3 of those things and really start a very handsome college fund for each and every one of them. Not that they need it, because they are all already geniuses, and the oldest among them only 3. That's a lot of diapers. But if you believe in that conspiracy theory, maybe you're the one that's full of poop. I love every minute of it. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. From reincarnation to the immortality of the soul and beyond, I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with the Fox News podcast.